Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, are you all seated comfortably and ready for the lesson? Okay, now for today's lesson, right, I will simply be going through some basic materials to review the Story Mountain. You will not be required to write anything, okay? So it's all right. You don't need to have your writing materials with you, but I will need you to be able to unmute yourself and answer some of the questions I will ask you, just so that I know that you are with me and you can recall the things that we've already covered in the classroom. Okay, right? So please remain muted until you are called upon. Then you can unmute yourself and answer the question that I asked to you. Okay, Gautam, you are not muted. Can you please mute yourself, Gautam? Thank you. Yep, that's good. Thank you very much. Okay, please remain muted at all times, okay? So you do not disturb the others with any noise that's generated from your side of the connection, all right? Okay, now, as I'm sure all of you are aware, right, we are looking at narratives and personal recounts today, okay? And the Story Mountain is central to both of these types of writing, okay? Um, can I just do a very quick uh, poll, okay? Let me just try to set up a poll, okay. Just going to put a poll. Okay, never mind. It's okay. I don't seem to be able to share a poll. Right, just a very quick show of hands. How many of you are confident that you can recall and apply all five elements of the Story Mountain? Could you raise your hands with the reaction button, please? Okay, very good. Thank you, Gautam. That's the first response. Okay. Ian, can you please pay attention to the lesson? I can see you right now and you are not attentive. Can you please be attentive to the lesson? Thank you very much, Ian. Okay, very good. Well done. Okay, good. Okay, excellent. Okay. Jovin, are you able to hear me clearly? Okay, that's good. All right. Okay, everybody. Right. I there are some of you who did not raise your hands. Can I just ask if there are some areas that you are unfamiliar or not confident of what those might be? So I'll be asking those of you whose hands are not raised, just to share with me if there's any areas you are not very confident of, okay? Let me see. Um, Andrea. Okay, you raised your hand. Okay. Yi Chen, did you raise your hand?
Race for what?
My question was whether you are confident to be able to apply all five elements of the Story Mountain. You are? Okay, sure. So you raised your hand. Okay, very good. Is anybody not confident? Can you raise your hands? Then I can address some questions that you might have. Okay. No? Everybody's confident? All good? Okay, so then let's move on with today's presentation, okay? So I already talked about Story Mountains being important for you to use to plan your story, right? Okay, so why is it important to plan your story? Because then your structure becomes clearer to the reader, your story becomes more exciting, and your organization is improved, okay? Now, how your story is organized affects both the language and the content of what you are writing, okay? Now, can anyone tell me um, how do I know which part of my story belongs to which part of the Story Mountain? Can anyone answer this question? How do I know which part of my story belongs to which part of the Story Mountain? Maybe let's start with Ian. Ian, your hand is raised. Would you like to answer that question? Unmute yourself.
Something from Gucci? What? I want it! Oh, you already know it since I beat your Bricks King record.
Ian, I can't hear you. Would you like to unmute yourself? Ian, can you hear me? Are you able to unmute yourself to answer the question? Okay. Janessa, would you like to try?
Sure.
Okay. How do I know which part of my story corresponds to which part of the story mountain?
By how the story goes.
Can I ask you to elaborate on that? How do I know which part of my story corresponds to which part of the story mountain? Remember, I taught you all how to do this, right?
The paragraph has a problem, and then you will know it's the.
Okay, thank you, Janessa. Andrea, would you like to add on?
When there is like the problem, then you will know it's either the rising action or the climax.
Okay, very good. So the problem tells me where the climax or rising action is. And remember, I taught you all to use a paragraph for each section of the story mountain, right? So if I look at the first paragraph, what is it likely to be? It's likely to be the Autumn?
The first paragraph is most likely to be the introduction.
You wouldn't be far wrong. Good. What about you, Cheyenne? What do you think the second paragraph would then be?
The rising action.
If I go by the progression of the story mountain, right? Good. And then what do you think the third paragraph would be? Anyone? Okay, let's get back to Ian, okay? Since Ian didn't get a chance to answer just now. Ian, what do you think the third paragraph would be?
The climax.
Thank you, Ian. All right, you can mute yourself once you're done. And of course, after the climax, Tammy, what will come after the climax?
Falling action.
Very good. And our very important ending to the story would be called what? What would it be called, Joshua?
The conclusion.
Very good. It's the conclusion, right? And Joshua, can you, for bonus marks, tell us what is always in a conclusion? There are two important elements of a conclusion, right? What should always be there?
A value and a moral.
A moral, a lesson, or a value that's learned, right? So there are three things, but you chose two, moral and value. Okay, good. Well done. So always remember to link, right? The lesson your character learns in the story to a value that you are familiar with. Okay. So what are the familiar values that all of you know all together? Anyone? What are the familiar values we can always depend on and link to? Let's have Gautam, go ahead.
Care, respect, responsibility, and resilience.
And what kinds of values are these, my dear?
They are school values.
Okay, very good. So a clear connection to our school values, all right, or to values that you are familiar with, is a very powerful way to end the story, right? Okay, so conclusions should end with some kind of reflection, moral, lesson, or value. Okay, good. Well done. I'm very, very happy that you all remember the 5 elements. So remember that it helps us to plan our stories. Ian, can you please focus on the lesson? If I see you do that again, I will have to eject you from this meeting, and this is being recorded. Bear in mind that your actions on the screen are being recorded. So please behave yourself, right? Including this instruction from me right now to you is being recorded. All right. So please, everybody, you are on record. Please behave yourselves and do not misbehave. All right. I wouldn't want to have to share video evidence of you not focusing to your parents. All right. Please focus. Okay. This is your final warning. Thank you. Right. Let's move on. Okay. So very important for us to understand what's in each section, right? Andrea, can you tell me whether you understand what is on the screen right now about introduction? Good. Can you tell me when I don't start my story with an introduction? When do I not start my story with an introduction? Andrea, do you know?
When you are starting it with climax, then after that you go back.
Very good. Excellent. So there are moments, right, when I'm writing an action-packed story, when I will choose to start in the middle at the climax, right? Then I will not start with the introduction. But does that mean I throw the introduction away? Does that mean I ignore it and then I never introduce my characters? No, right? Yeah. So I must come back to my introduction at some point, okay? So a climax is a good way to start. You start with dialogue, or you start with an onomatopoeic sound, or you start in the thick of the action. But don't forget to always flash back to the beginning so that you can introduce your character and setting. That is very important. Okay, so don't forget the introduction, which must contain the elements you'll see on the screen right now, the main characters, the setting, the mood or the atmosphere, which will set the tone for the rest of your story. Okay, any questions so far? All good? Okay, very good. Well done. So next we move to the very important part, right, of the story, which is that of the rising action. Can anyone tell me what's the most important thing that must always happen in the rising action? Okay, I would like someone else to answer. Okay, Janessa, I'll hear from you, then I'll hear from Alexis after that.
A problem.
A problem. And then what must happen to the problem, Alexis? I'm not hearing you, Alexis. I think there's something wrong with your microphone, okay? You're gonna have to try to fix that. You're unmuted, but I'm not hearing any sound from you. Never mind, it's okay. You can fix it later, okay? Christabel, what do you think?
Must get worse.
The problem must get worse, okay? Right? Can you give me an example, anyone, of a problem getting worse? Can anyone give me an example of a problem and then the problem getting worse? Okay, Hugo, what about you? Any example will do.
Like a person fell down the bicycle and then he cut the upper lip.
Okay, so he fell down, and not only did he fall down, he sustained a pretty serious injury, right? Or an injury that causes a lot of bleeding. Good, good. That is a good example of something that happened and then something that got worse. Okay, good. That's a very good elaboration. Does anybody else want to contribute a different example? Remember the idea of going big and going home, right? You want to write something really big, right? Something really major. Okay. Let's see. Just to check in. Terence, what about you? Can you give me an example of a problem and how the problem gets worse?
Person falls down and his leg gets run over by a car.
Oh dear. Okay, that's really a big problem, right? Not only does he fall, but then he gets into an accident, right? A car accident. A car runs over his leg. Oh dear. Okay, so that is indeed a problem getting much worse than it actually is. Good, Terence. Well done, and thank you for coming up with an example at such short notice. Okay, so when a problem gets worse, what is very important for you to communicate with your readers? What must you tell your readers when the problem gets worse? What's important to communicate to them? Javian? Javian, what is important? When something gets worse, right? What must you always communicate to your readers? Remember what was the third thing Mr. Pang asked you to highlight yesterday? I can't hear you, Javian. Please unmute yourself. Remember to unmute yourself. Carry on. Javian, are you there?
Yeah, I could not hear you earlier.
You could not hear me? You could not hear the question, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So my question was, what happens when the problem gets worse? What must you always communicate to your readers? What's important to communicate to them when the problem gets worse? It's related to what I asked you all to highlight, the third thing I asked you to highlight yesterday during the writing of our composition in class. I can't hear you.
The emotions.
The emotions. The emotions of whom?
The character.
Which character?
The main character.
Okay, Javian, can you see that you're answering incomplete, right? I have to keep prompting you, and you have to remember to give a complete answer, right? So whose emotions? The character's emotions. Which character? The main character. So your answer should be, we must always communicate the main character's emotions. Got it, everybody? Now, when something gets worse, can you imagine your character feeling exactly the same way? No, right? It will be really weird if your character remains the same in terms of his or her emotions, right? So the emotions must run high, correct? Something must change in their emotional state when something gets worse, right? Okay. And of course, if something gets worse, if the problem gets bigger, your character should feel something different. Okay. So it's important when you're writing the rising action to include both something that happens, something that gets worse, and your character's emotions. Bonus if you can write their thoughts as well. Okay. Because that will give the readers a lot of insight into what your character is feeling. Okay, now let's move on to arguably what is the most important part of the story, which is the climax, right? Okay, the climax is the turning point. The climax is when the problem gets worse before it gets better, right? It's like tipping from worse to better. Huh? Okay, can you tell me what's another name for the problem getting better? Anyone remember what's another name for the problem getting better? Okay. Anyone? What's the name for the problem getting better? San, are you feeling better? Can you try to answer this question? San, are you there? Yeah. Okay. What's another name for a problem getting better? Do you know the answer? You're not sure? Would you like to try? Not too sure? Okay. Anybody likes to try? Okay, Ian, I see a volunteer there. Cheyenne, what about you?
A solution.
A solution, right? Okay, that's one word you could use, right? A solution is when the problem gets better, right? You solve it, it certainly gets better, right? Okay, so if I have a problem of a person who's fallen and injured himself, then what might be a logical solution to such a problem? How might that situation get better? Would anyone like to suggest it? Okay, Janessa, go ahead.
A passerby help the main character that is injured.
Okay, so you have a trusted adult or a passerby who comes by to solve this problem. Good, but what if I wanted to solve the problem myself? What if I wanted my own character to solve the problem? Andrea, what do you think?
I could call the ambulance by myself.
Okay, okay. I could summon help by myself, right? I could get myself, into a clinic, or I could, get some paramedics to come by and assist me. It's possible. Do you think it's possible that you could summon your own help? It's possible, right? Yeah. So it's one thing to depend on others. There's another way to actually also solve the problem by ourselves. So in most cases, I would recommend that we try to solve the problem by ourselves, right? Unless it's really at a point where we are not able to solve the problem, right? We are unconscious, or we are badly injured and we're not able to summon help by ourselves, right? Then that will be a good time to turn to other people. Okay, good. So that's the climax, right? The climax is kind of when the problem gets worse and then it starts to get better. Someone steps in or you do something to help the problem get better. And that's in the word solution, right? Okay, it's giving a solution to the problem. Okay, good. Right. Okay, so falling action is when things start to resolve, right? Everything comes together and we know that the story is about to end. Okay, now what is important in falling action? What is very important in the falling action? Anyone? Mr. Pang always emphasizes this when we talk about the falling action, right? Anybody? Those of you who are not volunteering, can you lower your hand so that I know who is volunteering? Okay, Dylan, go for it.
The problem gets better.
Okay, the problem gets better was what we talked about in the solution, right? Okay, so besides the problem getting better, what else happens in the falling action? Anyone? When you talk about the action falling, right? Falling action, right? Do you think that things are as exciting as they are in the climax? No, right? Okay, so things start to settle, right? So all the problems are solved and everything comes together, okay? So you shouldn't have any hanging pieces or unsolved problems by the time you get to the falling action, okay? Right, and then finally, here we have the conclusion, okay? And these are the things that we've just discussed, okay? Do you have any questions about what I'm presenting so far? All good, right? Okay, very good. Now, we are going to try to construct the story together, okay? Right? And we're going to focus on using all 5 of these elements to construct a powerful looking story, okay? And then I want you all to participate with me as we draw the story together, okay? So these are the 3 pictures. Now, when you have a writing task, right, very often the pictures are not related. But in this case, the 3 pictures are kind of related, okay? Remember how many pictures must we choose? How many pictures should we choose? Right, use your finger, show it to me. Very good, excellent. So you all remembered, huh? Is it better to have more or less? How many of you think it's better to have more? Thumbs up. How many of you think that's wrong? More is not good. Thumbs down. Okay, can you all give me the response? More pictures is good or more pictures is bad? Okay, can you give me the thumbs up or thumbs down icon on your reaction panel so that I can capture it? Okay, use a reaction. Okay. Yeah, okay. Andrea, you say more is good. More pictures is better. Are you very, very sure about that?
I cannot find the thumbs down one.
Oh, there's no thumbs down. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No,
Okay,
no,
okay.
there is, but I can't find it.
Okay. Can you all find the thumbs down? Can you all see the thumbs down? Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, maybe I didn't enable it. Okay, okay, then in that case, oh, you found it. Okay, you found it. Okay, if you can. Okay, you all just use your hands lah. Just use your hand. Okay, if you can't find it, no point spending too much time looking for it. Okay. Thank you. I'm seeing everybody. Hugo, up or down? Yeah, okay. Jia Yu, up or down? Down. Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, Yichen, what about you? Okay. Harissa? Okay, all right. Okay. All right, thank you. I'm sorry, I can't really see all of you at the same time. Yichen, do you raise your hand? Did you raise your hand, Yichen?
I accidentally pressed it.
Okay, all right. It's all right. Okay. So everybody's in agreement that the lesser the number of pictures, the better, right? Okay. Because the more the pictures you choose, the more restrictions you have to writing, right? Okay. So if you want more freedom to write your story the way you want it to go, then choose just one picture and base your story around it. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's see. Can I enable chat? Let's see. Chat. Okay. Are you all able to send me a message? Can you send me a message, like which picture you choose? So I'll look at which has the best vote. Yeah, okay, good. I see it. 1, 2, or 3. Please don't give me middle, beginning, whatever. Okay, 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Yeah. Okay, very good. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. 2 is very popular. 3 is neck and neck. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh wow. It looks like it's tied between 2 and 3. Okay. Okay. Looks like 2 is slightly edging out the competition. Okay. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 2 wins. Congratulations, 2. Okay, now let's look at 2. Okay, as you all can see, right, this story involves a group of children searching for something. Okay, let's hold on now. Let me just get this started. Okay, can you see a blank document? Okay, right, so this is the title. Okay, and then this is the picture. And then it's about a group of children searching with a map. Title, Lost Grove. Okay, right. Okay, by the way, do you all know what's a lost grove? Do you all know what's a grove? Anybody knows what a grove is? Yichen, what's a grove?
Is it like a garden place?
Very good. Exactly that. Okay. You hit the nail on the head. It is indeed a garden. All right. So a lost grove is basically like a secret garden. Have you all read the story Secret Garden before? Right? right? There's a story written, a very famous one, right, for children. It's called Secret Garden. You can go and explore it. But basically, this picture is based on that story, okay? So we're going to write a story today based off of the idea of a lost or a secret garden, okay? So are you all ready? Okay, we're going to start with an introduction, okay? Right, so let's go. Would someone like to send me a message about the kind of weather we should have in order to be exploring? What kind of weather do you think we ought to have when we're exploring outdoors, right? In a logical and sensible way, right? Okay, right. Yep. I'm seeing your responses. Very good. Okay. Do you think it would make sense for it to be rainy, right? Or for it to be stormy? Would that make sense? Right? Yeah, no, right? Okay. Simply because if it's kind of bad weather, then children would tend to be indoors, okay? So yeah, so we can have breezy, sunny, um, we can have like cloudy. Okay, cloudy is a good idea, right? Because then it will be kind of shady and we wouldn't be exposed to the harsh rays of the sun, right? Okay. Yeah, no worries, Andrea. Okay. Yes, Shan, please go ahead, right? No worries. I've already front-loaded most of the content. So we're just practicing now. Okay, so let's go, right? Let's begin as the simple story with just the introduction. We won't start with the climax, okay? Hmm? Okay. I'll try to incorporate all of your weather, okay? Okay. Okay. All right. So all good. Have I combined most of your weather pattern? Okay. Happy? Okay. Now it's time to introduce our character. Now, how many figures were there in the Story Mountain? How many figures? All right. So I need to introduce my group of four children, right? So let's give them A, B, C, and D. Okay, let's give their names A, B, C, and D. So someone suggest a name in a name in B, a name in C, and a name in D. Go ahead. Fastest fingers first. I'll incorporate whichever names come up first. A, B, C, and D lah, Dylan. Jane is J lah. Okay, I've got my first A. Okay, Amy, thank you. Amy, B. Brennan, okay, right? All right. Okay. Good. Keep it coming. All right. And C. Okay. Candace. Got it. And Dean. Okay. Nice. Okay. We're out in the forest exploring and packing. Okay. Thank you very much. Good enough. All right. So let's see. Okay. Now, let's go to the second paragraph. Can y'all tell me, like second paragraph is the rising action, right? So what would be the trigger for them to start looking for this lost growth? Okay, I give you a hint, it's in the picture. Okay. What will be the, not say a problem, what will be the trigger, right? That makes them start this entire adventure? What will they find? Janessa?
They found they were like digging the sand for fun, and they found like a treasure, like
Okay. All
box
right. So
with the paper on it, with the paper in
okay,
it.
they were exploring uh, um, uh, and digging in the sand because they were alone. That was okay. All right, good. That's a good idea. All right, excellent. Okay, so second paragraph, right? So right, as Brennan. Okay, Brennan will be the one who discovers it, right? Was in the soil. He discovered. What did he discover, Andrea?
Treasure box.
Okay. an old wooden box that looked like contained treasure. Okay, good. Very good. Mm-hmm. Yes. Open. Okay, what would your emotion be if you found something like this? Would you like be like bored? Would you be kind of like, yeah, another day, right? No, what kind of emotion would you experience if this happened to you, right? Hugo?
Feel excited and happy.
Yeah, excitedly. Right, okay. Um, uh, they could not wait to discover, right? Okay. What? Okay, Gautam, what do you think they discovered?
They would have discovered like a pirate's treasure in the grave.
And they found a old treasure. Okay, right? With the words. Oops, sorry. You wrote written on it in arch. So, okay, all right, good. Okay. Now, so remember the rising action is when something triggers, right, or something goes wrong, right? Okay. Now, how can this get even more exciting? What can push it even higher? Okay, Gautam, go ahead.
One of their classmates saw the treasure and wanted it all to themselves.
Oh, as in like they start to fight amongst themselves. Okay, all right, that's possible. Something goes wrong. Okay, the children started um about who would get the treasure. Okay, very good. All right, so this is the problem, right? Excellent, right? Now, let's say I want to get the problem even worse. What would make it even worse than an argument? Let's move on to somebody else. Amy, what about you? How would you make this even worse?
They couldn't find the treasure.
No, before they start to look for the treasure, they have to solve the problem of the argument first, right? So the argument is happening right now. How can this get worse? We haven't gotten to the treasure yet, you know. Sayan?
The map tore.
Okay, all right, okay. Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea, right? We get back to the map, right? Uh, the map. Don't worry about writing this down, okay, everyone. I won't need you to copy this, but I will need you to finish the story. Okay, so I'll stop it at some point, and I'll let you all take over and finish the story as the assignment. Okay, so no worries about writing it down, huh? Okay, we'll continue on from here. Into two pieces. Okay, so now when you see this treasure map, this precious treasure map tear into two pieces, remember emotions, right? How would your characters be feeling? What would be going through their minds? Okay, Dylan, go ahead.
They'll be shocked.
I don't think shock is sufficient. Don't you think so? Right? I think it'd be worse than shock, right? If something like this happened, it's quite disastrous, right? So what kind of feelings would be going through your mind as something like this happens? Let's have somebody who has not yet answered. Joshua, do you want to try?
Heart beating very fast.
Oh, as in heart beating very fast. I don't think that quite captures it, right? I mean, it's a disaster, right? So how would your feelings develop if it were a disaster? Christopher?
They were sad.
Sad is such a generic word, right? It's not powerful enough. I want it to be more stronger and more specific, okay? Sad doesn't cover it, right? Sad is such a primary one word, right? Yeah. Can someone give me something that's a bit more detailed and more specific, okay? Yeah. Okay. Janessa?
Hopeless and desperate. Also, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
This compo, we must
Mm.
write it down.
No, I already said you don't need to write this down. I will post it on SLS, then you'll just need to finish it. Okay? We'll
Oh,
stop at some point and then you will complete the story by yourselves for me. Is that okay? But so far, you all must follow the story, right? Are you all following it so far? Can you see how I'm using the introduction and the rising action to set the story? Do you all understand it so far? Are you all following? Okay, so now I'm coming into the climax, right? So I want things to get worse. Remember, the problem gets worse, right? So in this case, it tears, the map tears. And then I want to give my readers an insight into how my characters are feeling. Okay, when they see the map torn like that, how do they feel, right? When they see the map torn into two pieces, okay? Yeah. Okay, come, Hugo, you want to try?
Feel like regretful. Because if they never be fighting, the thing will turn.
Okay, so regret, remorse, right? Very good. But before that, horror, right? Shock and horror, right? I think Janessa mentioned they were desperate, right? And they were, they were heartbroken, right? Okay, so right, okay, so let's capture all of that. Okay, so I think they will combine both of them. Okay, Hugo, you said regretful, right? Okay, was that what you said? No. And full remorse. Okay, so let's capture what both Janessa and Hugo said. They regretted and decided to share it instead. Holding. Okay, so far so good. They began to search for the lost grove. Okay. Okay, everybody, so good so far? All right. Now, this is where things start to get better, right? Okay, so remember the introduction is when I tell you where, who, and when this story happens. The rising action is when I introduce to you the problem or the discovery, something that triggers the more important or exciting part of the story, right? And then the climax, the first part of the climax here is where things start to get worse before they get better. Remember, the point in the climax is when things become worse before they start to get better. And then, of course, it will come into the solution and then we'll come to the end of the story, okay? So I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to let you all come up with your own versions of how this story develops from here, okay? Now, in 10 minutes, I'm going to be posting this on SLS, and then I'm going to be inviting all of you to complete the story for me in your own ways. But before I let you go ahead and do that, do you have any questions for me? Okay. Do you notice? Oh yes, Janessa, you have a question?
This compo is for WA2, right?
It's a practice, yes, that's right.
Okay.
It's not actually graded, do not worry, okay?
This one
Yeah, it's just a
must it
practice.
must this one be
I am so sorry. Give me a minute. I'm having some trouble with my computer. Okay, can y'all still hear me? Y'all can still hear me, right? Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my computer seems to be glitching for a bit. Okay, yes, I still see some hands raised. Now, Terence, do you have a question?
Do we have to continue the climax?
Yes, you have to continue the climax because, like I showed you, the climax is not finished yet, right? It is still got to get better, right? Okay, it's got to improve, right? Then before you all go into the falling action, which is where you probably find the lost grove, and then the conclusion, the actual ending, where you learn some lessons from this experience. Okay, so you still have half a paragraph of the climax to goal before you go into the falling action and the conclusion. Do you all understand what I need you to do? Okay, so this will be attached to your SLS assignment. You just need to continue and finish the story for me, right? To demonstrate to me that you remember what goes into the climax, the falling action, and the conclusion. Any other questions? No? All good? Okay. Do you need me to attach the picture? Can you all remember what the picture is? Do you need me to attach this picture? You need to? Okay, sure. Then I'll do that. Okay, don't worry. So can you all check back to SLS in about 10 minutes? Okay. Our lesson is coming to an end already. It's about 45 minutes. I told you I wanted to keep you for no more than 50 minutes. I've kept my promise, right? Okay, so 45 minutes. So your assignment today is just to finish the story. That's it. Okay. And then try to use as good a vocabulary as you can. Right. I will attach some helping words in the assignment as well. But show me that you can finish the climax, come up with a good falling action, and then come up with a good conclusion. But you have to keep to the characters I have introduced. You cannot change Amy, Brennan, Candice, and Dean into anybody else, okay? Must be consistent with the characters. Cannot suddenly change to I, okay? Any questions? If not, then that's all, people. Thank you very much. Good job. We'll continue with this in class tomorrow, okay? Then I'll remind you of how we can construct a good conclusion based on how you all write this. And a gentle reminder, I have posted feedback for your previous narrative, right? On SLS already. Can you please go and read my feedback and the marks I've assigned to you for that as well? Can? Okay. So 2 things are, look at my feedback for the previous narrative and your marks, and finish up this narrative that we're working on today. Okay? If no problems, oh yes, Yi-Chen, what is it?
There's no school tomorrow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I keep forgetting that tomorrow's Labour's Day. A Friday. I'll see you on Friday, first 2 periods. Okay? Friday, first 2 periods. And don't forget Friday, there's spelling as well. Okay? Go and review your spelling list. Yes, Yi-Chen?
I'm not coming on Friday.
Oh dear. Then you're going to have to catch up on Monday, okay? Yeah. All right. Have a good trip. Yes, Gautam.
Mr. Pang, when is the debate?
When we are done with this.
All right.
Thank you. Right, Cheyenne?
When is it due?
This Friday. But the sooner you send it to me, the more quickly I'll be able to give you feedback and assessment, okay? So I'm sure you want to know how you did right. Yeah, so send it to me as quickly as possible, okay? Thank you. Dylan?
I thought Monday don't have school.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah. I keep forgetting which days are and are not on. Yeah, so it'll have to be next Tuesday. But Friday, spelling, don't forget to study for it, okay? Friday for sure, there's the school. Okay, thank you, everyone. I'm going to end the recording, and if you have no questions, you can go. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Enjoy your holiday tomorrow. See ya.